Alright then guys, so this is another quick update on my wife's progress. So I think in the last update she had had the first 3 rounds of chemo, and then she had the CT scan and the MRI, and the brain was looking slightly better, but the lung was looking slightly worse. So they decided to stop the treatment that she was having at the time, and she had a few weeks break. Then they started her on a new chemo treatment. So she had 3 of those treatments, and about a week, maybe a week and a half ago, she went in for the usual scans to see what effect this second chemo treatment has actually had. And we went back for the results today, and they're not as good as we would have hoped. So the first thing, the brain, the results weren't back, which is a little bit annoying because that kind of keeps us dangling on a bit of string while we wait for those results to come back. As far as the cancer in the lungs, that is actually stable. So it hasn't shrunk it, but it hasn't grown either. So, in a roundabout way, it's a reasonably good result. Not really, but you know what I mean. But the scan of the cancer on her liver has shown that the growth has actually enlarged. The last scan, it was about 17 millimeters, and on this scan it's actually 27 millimeters. So there is an increase in size, which they've said is a little bit on the worrying side, that the chemo doesn't seem to have worked as well as we'd all hoped. What we're going to do now is they want to wait until the results come back for her brain, and if, like the first scan, they are stable or have any improvement, then they've agreed to do another treatment, but they can't say anything until we get the results for that. Hopefully in the next week, maybe two, we'll receive a phone call. We haven't actually got to go back to the hospital for that, but they're going to ring us. So fingers crossed that the brain is either stable or has shown signs of improvement, and then they are willing to try her with a third treatment. However, if the results come back for the brain and it does show like that things have deteriorated in any way, what they were basically saying is they would probably advise calling it quits with the treatment, because they said something about the fact that if they keep doing the chemo, then the body can become immune to it and it ends up not having the desired effect. So we're still upbeat. Obviously my wife was very teary today. It's not the best news. It's not the news that we all were hoping for. We were kind of prepared for it not to be 100% great, but there is still a glimmer of hope, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed that the results for the brain are positive and that she can try a different treatment. So that is all we know at this point. We have all said that we're going to keep as positive as we can be. We're going to keep fighting this thing. We're not prepared to just call it a day. She did say that if the results come in for the brain and there is any deterioration, or there's no sign of improvement or it's deteriorated, then their advice is to kind of halt all treatments and kind of enjoy whatever time she's got left. But at this moment in time, we are kind of keeping our fingers crossed that the results will come back for a brain and they'll be either the same as they were or maybe show some signs of improvement, and they can try a third treatment. Overall, as far as my wife's coped with the treatment, she's actually been amazing. She's had no sickness. She hasn't been sick once. She had weight loss surgery 3 years ago, and she's kind of struggled to eat decent portions since then. But since she's been having the chemo, I mean, she has been eating better. She's had a little bit of sickness after eating on a few occasions, but again, we're not sure whether that's to do with the chemo or the weight loss surgery. But overall, she hasn't been sick. It's just been kind of passing sickly feelings, rather than her feeling really, really sick. It's just kind of been a slight sicky feeling, and then she's kind of got over it. And as far as anything else, I mean, she's had no headaches. She's still pottering around the house, doing things like washing, still cooking. We're still getting out and about, doing shopping or going for walks. Overall, I mean, everyone that sees her is they all say the same thing, that she just doesn't look ill. So that's another positive, or we're seeing that as a positive. We're going to keep trying to be as positive as we can be, because we all believe that being happy and upbeat releases happy endorphins, or whatever they're called, and that's got to be a good thing, right? So that is where we're at the moment. It's not maybe the results that we would have liked, but it's not the worst results that we could have been given, but it's still not great. However, we are determined to keep fighting, keep staying positive, because without hope, what do we have? We have absolutely nothing. So that is it for now. Again, I want to thank everyone in advance that's left messages and asked for updates, whether it be on this channel or the main channel. To be honest, I've not really checked comments on this channel. I just come to post, but I don't really pay too much attention to this channel, so forgive me if I've not replied to any comments. But that's where we're at to. Anyway, I'm just rabbiting now. So as soon as we get any more updates on whether the brain scan comes back and she can have further treatment or whatever happens, we will let you know as and when, or I will let you know as and when. So until the next video, stay safe and you'll see me in the next one, guys.